As William and Tyrion were making their way back to the Pyramid Palace from the all men's gathering party, Daenerys then had called for a secret meeting to meet in the meeting room. And surprisingly, Darrow just happened to be with his commanding lord at the time. As they all gathered in the meeting room, she then informs them to take their seats, and they all do. The trusted advisor and guard knight then informs her of everyone's presence. My queen, all commanding lords, including myself, are present at this time. Thank you. And then she, having noticed Dario, decides to make sure that she nips us in the bud right away. Are we going to have a problem? And Lord Knight over Dario then looks at Dario. Well, you haven't lost your tongue now, have you? No. Good, then you can answer her question. No, my queen. I do not believe we will have a problem. Good. That's all I wanted to know. I thank you all for attending this meeting. And as you know, that me and this legendary myth, who is no longer a legend or a myth, the human, William Lucas McEachran, of whom has stated truthfully, without lies, trickery, or deception, that his heraldry does not allow him to have the throne. This means then, rather than me doing as the traditional ways of a queen, following in his stead while he has the throne, I take the throne, and thus I permit him to follow in my stead, sitting at my right hand. Moreover, he and I are going to be married, as you already know. Well, this is good then. This means you will have much happiness for the remainder of your days. Yes, I am really looking forward to this. That is not why I summoned you here. She looks down a bit at her map. At the time before William had unexpectedly came to our world with no way to get back to his own, I had come to realize, thanks to the visionary pointing things out, that I made a major mistake. And the visionary spoke words of wisdom, which I had, at the time, even stated that I held no one responsible and that we needed redirection in our life. And she looks back up at him. To admit one's mistake is to truly be a queen. I have freely admitted this, and therefore I hold my position well. Then she starts walking around the table. William has, as far as I can see him to the best of my knowledge, though he be low in stature, and though he does not want us to foresee him having human frailties, we must admit that he does. He will never be as strong as the men of our world. And if it wasn't for what the visionary had foretold me, I wouldn't even allow him to be a part of this, to deliver what is rightfully mine, the throne of swords for the realm of the kingdoms. But because it is a prophecy, I believe the time's going to come where he has to assume his duties, because he will be not just sitting at my right hand, following my stead as my husband and king, though I will be the supreme ruler. Because symbolically, as everyone knows, I represent the stronger dragon. He represents the male dragon from legends of old, the dark blue star that shines in the very night sky, what he calls Earth, of his world that he cannot get back to. And he will obey any command that I give. I have foreseen this and sensed this already, much to my delight. She looks down at the map again. The best way to overcome one's enemy is not to be overzealous with power, but know how to wield the power like you would a sword. If one wields it wrong, they may not be able to put up much of a guard and could easily be struck down. That is a mistake I will never make again. Well, how you intend to conquer that which, even though you were in Kingslanding for about, 3 to 6 months, and then you had the throne for about 3 days, from this repeating itself and you be thrown off again? Well, first off, I do not intend to use Dothraki again. Besides, they have lost faith in me because of that incident. Though we will somewhat have a friendship still, they will never enter in this again. But I think the best way is to form a new army. You all will each have a certain duty to perform while I attend to getting ready for my wedding. Each one of you shall go to those whom I had freed long ago, man, woman, and child. You will take something what we should call a consensus. A consensus, my queen. Yes. We must find out of those that I had freed, because I told them long ago, freedom is not mine to give them. They must earn their freedom. And freedom then means they have to earn it, even though they are already free. Now we know the Harpy has pretty much retaken ground because of the great loss that I had suffered. And though I had time of mourning, I am no longer mourning. And I will take back that which I had lost to the Harpies. And I will re-invade Westeros. Because the one that walks among us now, I see great things in him. Many great things in him. Though he may kind of act somewhat aloof to us all, he is still yet to be trained of our laws, our customs and traditions, practices, and certain etiquettes. That is my responsibility, and I will make sure that he gets the proper training in those areas by one who has already trained him to read and speak our common language. Though he may not speak Valyrian, yet he has an interest in trying. Whether he actually is successful at that or not is to be seen. But you all then, when you do your consensus of each family household, for those that I have freed, they must meet a certain age requirement. We don't want to have one who is not of age at 15 or 16, but not one who is also elderly and has seen too many seasons. So therefore, you shall, on the consensus, visit each household, whether they have shelters or not, or if they're merely pitched tents. Those that are willing to serve, you shall take note of it, and their names, if they should have names, or have them give themselves a name, and write it down, and inform them that soon those whose names are written down shall undergo training, and that it will be one not of this world or the 7 known kingdoms that will give them their training. Do we understand? Yes, I think that would be a good idea. And are you certain that we will have enough, like when we had the Dothraki invade the last time? For I too remember that invasion, because before you had knighted me, I served amongst those who were on the sailing vessels at the time, and it was a glorious fight. Yes, it was. But now times have changed, and now that I have seen redirection in my life, and for the kingdom here in Marine, we must have planned a new strategy. So, when this is all done, you will turn in your reports for me to look over. I will review them prior to going on this custom of William's known as a honeymoon, something I am interested in trying out. It is something we don't normally do here in our world, but as much as he has offered with many gifts he has provided me, and many treasures, his customs and practices of the wedding ceremony has combined with mine to show unionship of our two worlds. So, I will review these as others of the palace will plan and prepare our departure for a period of time to experience this human custom called honeymoon. That is good. Then we shall stand ready upon your return. So what plans do you have for William? I will assign him the task of training these men, as I said, when you do your consensus. And should he do all that is promised, because I do not think he will disappoint me at all. And as much as the gift of knowledge is still under construction, which will eventually be completed by the time I would return with William from this human custom called a honeymoon. He shall be the leader of this new army. Well, this is good. Does he know about this yet? No. I don't want to rush this on him all at once. Again, I want him to be comfortable, because little by little, he shall learn things and see things. And he has to adapt to our ways. And I will continue to grooming him in the ways that we do things. So this must be kept secret. But I wanted to give you your tasks while I'm at the wedding. Is this understood? Yes, my queen. Everybody else nods in agreement. Very good then. Well then, while you all are taking care of the tasks I have just assigned you, I have a wedding to plan for. And she looks at Dario, doesn't say nothing. So, you all know what your duties are then. Yes, my queen, and we will handle this right away. Thank you. And so with that, the secret meeting is then adjourned.
As Khaleesi was getting ready to get dressed, um, the handmaiden came in with her dress and everything, and noticed that for the first time, Khaleesi seemed like she was like staring and kind of in a daze. And she asked Khaleesi, "Are you okay?" And Khaleesi looks up at the handmaiden. "Yes, I am fine. You're not having second thoughts, are you?" "No. I was reflecting on many things because of how we first met, and I've already told you things in confidence already. Um, so is there something you want to talk about?" "Yeah, sure. I have a few moments. There's something I noticed about William that he does also that has really stimulated me. There are times where we will sit together and he has a fascination, for example, like with my hands. He enjoys comparing our hands together. He loves the fact that I have bigger hands and longer fingers than he does. And he always compliments me, which I find very stimulating and probably always will throughout the days of our lives. He likes to caress my fingers and put his fingers intertwined with mine. And it's like he can almost stare for quite some time, which I do not mind, as long as I don't have duties to attend to. And I sometimes like to just lay my head on his shoulders and I just watch what he does with my hands. And it seems to be fascinating that a human man like him would find everything about me so fascinating when it was I who found everything about him fascinating. So it's like we're still discovering things about each other. Well, that sounds great. It sounds like you guys are going to have a lot to discover about each other throughout the years. I do think so too. Um, this is kind of embarrassing, and I don't know why I mention it, but again, this is kind of personal. Um, we always refer to the part of a man as being a pole and two stones, and he told me his world doesn't call it that in his world. Really? Yes, he said it was called penis and balls. This greatly caused me much amusement, and I was taken aback when he told me this because it's not something we've ever heard of in this world. Handmaidens, like, wow. It was all Khaleesi could do to keep from laughing as well. Yes, he has such. His world has strange ways of naming things, even parts of their own anatomy. It is just unusual, but I find everything he does still so very fascinating. And then she looked her handmaiden in the eye. "Do you think I'm making the right decision? I may have asked you this before." The handmaiden sat down beside Khaleesi and put a gentle hand on her left shoulder. "Khaleesi, what do you feel? I mean, he obviously loves you with all his heart. You think he really is going to risk his own life deceiving you or mislead you? I mean, based on everything that we've already noticed about him? No, I don't think he would. I think you two are going to be wonderful together. You're going to be the most unique couple. Nowhere in our history, of any Targaryen history, any other kingdom, has there ever been such a unionship like this. This is a special historical moment taking place right now. You are right. Since he can never go back to his world, and it may be even after he and I have lived a long, prosperous life, And I have told him, even if it is me who goes first or him, that the door to what we believe in, the spirit world, would be left so that either one of us will be enjoined on the next kingdom beyond. He has come to terms with this, but I think he will come to find that his longevity might actually increase. So, do you still love William? Yes, I have come to terms that I love William with all my heart, and I know he loves me with all his. Well then, I think that this is wonderful, Khaleesi. You have given yourself open to him freely, and he has given so much of himself freely. And I think that this is going to be the most wonderful experience for all time, and even generations down the road, be it children, grandchildren, what have you, are going to look back at the most romantic outcome of a Targaryen and a human coming together in unionship of two worlds. And on top of that, like you said, he has no way to get back. So pretty much, he is home. Yes, I do agree with this. He is home. Thank you for giving me your wisdom again. I'm ready now to get dressed. So with that, they start preparing. This, in her eyes, as they have their own version of romance, was considered the most romantic thing that has ever happened in Targaryen history. It was not anything in any records or any of their history of anything that has ever happened in such manner, because history was actually in the making.
William then, upon arrival, knew that she probably wouldn't be in the palace, and because the wedding ceremony was to take place in a temple separate from that of the Pyramid Palace, probably something much older that didn't even have the pyramid design, probably since the time of the Valerians, if it goes back that far. But William, being a human, doesn't know how to determine the age of this huge Earth-like world of Daenerys. So he goes in to get his styled wedding dress attire that Tyrien had tailors duplicate from his original strange clothing known as a uniform to put on. And he had put the sash that he had earned on, left the necklace that she gave him that shows he has taken, and put on his duke's crown. He then, instead of using the tan-colored cloak, used the red one, because it's a combination of their customs, and he knows that from being told ahead of time that he's going to have to take the red one off when it comes to her customs of vows to put the cloak around her. So, in which case then, once everything's all done, then Tyrion looks him over. Well, I guess you look like a gentleman. Well, gee, thanks, Tyrion. So you got the ring? Yes, I have it here in my pocket, safe and sound. All right. Well, this should be a big moment. Yes, a historical one at that. Have you thought about what you're going to be doing after you two are betrothed together? Well, I told her I wanted to treat her out to something by my human custom called a honeymoon. I've heard of this before, even before you came to our world. Though, again, because you were nothing more than a myth and a legend, this honeymoon custom had also been considered a legendary practice of humans that were a myth and legend. Well, she seemed interested, and I don't know, maybe hopefully we'll get to go out for 2 weeks, see the different things to see. Well, she probably knows her world better than I do. I'd probably end up getting lost, on my luck, and having all kinds of fun experiences. Well, I guess then you two will be having quite the time afterwards. That is what I'm hoping. But again, she is the queen. That she is. Well, I guess I'm ready whenever you are. Very well then. Let's head over to the chapel then. So that's what they do, and thus ends his getting dressed scene. William finally shows up, and the temple is like really huge. And you can see that they're still waiting for guests to arrive, and they are slowly but surely, as there is a few in there already, that are some are still arriving. I see you made it, William. William turns around, and he's totally shocked. Wow. Oh my gosh. You like this? Yes, I didn't think that the human custom of a wedding veil, along with the style that you wear, would look so good on you. And she looks very extravagant. She has the veil with the jeweled, um, as he calls it, bling blings at her forehead with the silver headband. Has the triangle, uh, real gold symbolical triangles that come off the headband to the side of her cheeks, wearing the rubied earrings, the rubied choke collar, and other decorative jewelry, and the golden belt with the ruby buckle. Oh, wow. And he notices she's wearing her engagement ring. Oh my gosh, Daenerys, I just want to kiss you right now. And she kind of, with a big smile, you know that's something you can't do. Really? No. Don't you have a custom in your world? You don't kiss the bride until after you're married. Yes, that is true. You are stirring things in me, but we better, wait till afterwards. You are right. Well, you look so... Oh my gosh, Daenerys, you look so beautiful. Oh, thank you, William. You say the nicest things, and you do not look bad yourself. She kind of looks at him oddly. Something wrong? No, I sometimes forget that I'm taller than you. Well, I imagine you're taller now because you've got nice, beautiful feet and high heels, shoes. Well, thank you. Well, um, because you're still got to get accustomed to a world, William, and because I am the queen, normally the man would go first, but in this case, I have to go first. You understand? Yes, that is fine. I can only do what you tell me. That is good. You are so obedient. I like this about you, William. So, when the procession starts, I will go in first. Then, after everyone that goes before and after me goes in, you will go up next. With Tyrion, your best man. And we will all take our places. Then the priest lord will begin, and you just pretty much follow from there. I understand. And then she looks to Visionary. May I request your servants? Oh, and how may I of service to you, my queen? Well, I don't need an interpretation of any vision or request if you had any. But because my father was killed long ago, I have no one to give me away. I was wondering if you would like to do the honor. I would be delighted to give our queen away to this prophesied human who has come into our world, William Bruce McEachran. Thank you. And she looks back at William. You know, William, I'm looking forward to the time afterwards. Yes, there will be quite a reception, I would imagine. Yes, I would imagine so. But I'm talking about later. Oh, and you still turn 3 shades of red, and I do like this. You have no idea of the great desires that are about to come your way tonight. Yes, about that. I got to I gotta do something. It's like a last custom. I made something in my free time, though I never made mention of it. It's a type of farewell. It may look strange to you, even alien, but in my world, though we are still more advanced than what I just created, it will launch all the records and notes I've kept. So that if one day, should people of my world travel in what we would call space chariots, we call them spaceships, they will find these records and perhaps one day visit us. That would be wonderful. I would love to meet the other people of your world. I'm sure they're about as short as you. Well, the tallest they've ever gotten so far probably would be no taller than you, or almost as tall as the Unsullied Warriors, but not as tall as the rest of the men. I see. Well, I'm glad you mentioned this, William, because, as I said, there is something that only you would know about. A bag washed up on shore. It's long, and I had to put away for safekeeping. Well, that must be the launch buoy. The launch buoy. Um, yeah, it's another strange device. It, well, when it's lost at sea, they launch it and it floats so that another in a ship can hear a signal, see a flashing light, and rescue the person. And in this case, it's going to be going through the great ocean of the worlds. I see. I'll show you everything when the procession and the reception's over. Alright. So, I will take my place now, William, and you know what to do then. Yes. So with that then, they get ready for the procession to begin. Today is a very special day, a historical moment in the making of Targaryen history. Never has there been a unionship of two worlds, one of the dark blue star that shines brightly in the Valerian night sky, to which a myth and a legend who is among us, and permitted to live among us by our queen Daenerys Stormborn of the House of Targaryen, a human known as William Bruce Targaryen, calls his world of Earth. Though he came to us unexpectedly, and he cannot go back, here he shall remain to live out the rest of his days. He has accepted his place and his fate, and was selected as a suitor, appropriately chosen by Daenerys, and in his custom has exercised a human custom called the proposal. This she did permit, as it is a union of two worlds, so it is a union of two customs. This one is no longer a myth and a legend, because now he is among us. And by his custom, he has already given her what he calls the engagement. Now he wishes to place his human custom, known as the band of vows, upon her finger on top of that, which is the engagement ring. William, you have the other ring. I do, my lord. Tyrien then takes the ring out and hands it to William. Then you may do as your human custom does in your world. So he looks very nervous. And Daenerys can see this, and he gently lifts her right hand. Daenerys Stormborn of the House of Targaryen, though I be low in stature, yes, I do acknowledge that I won't be the stronger as the men of your world, because I am, I guess, frail more than those of the men of your world. I hereby wish to make my vows to you. You may proceed, William. She has a big smile on her face. I hereby devote my heart, soul, and spirit, and my entire life to you, to obey any command you give me. And with this ring, I thee wed, to always be faithful to you and no other, to always be in perfect commitment and harmony with you. And therefore, with this ring, I wed thee to be my wife and the queen of my heart the remainder of my days, in good times and bad, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and health, till death do us part. And he slips the ring onto her hand so that it rests snugly up against the engagement ring. She looks down on it with a smile. William, though it is not a custom of ours, and I do like this, that we are joining two customs together as much as we are two worlds. She takes him by both hands. Know this, though I would not have a ring, I promise you, I will take good care of you. And I am well pleased that you are learning your place. And I do accept the fact that your heraldry, for which I have adopted, you cannot take the throne, therefore you shall sit at the right hand falling in my stead. And you shall forever be my pet. I'm kind of blushes a bit. And I do still enjoy how you seem to turn 3 shades of red, William. But I will always take care of you, and I shall always be committed to you. Never shall anyone come between us, tempt me, or cause me to cheat on you and betray your love, as I know you will never betray mine. I do love you, Daenerys, and I appreciate this. And so with that, then she then looks to the priest lord. Then the priest lord then makes the next announcement. As William is a human from another world, the dark blue star that shines brightly in the Valerian night sky, known as Earth, which is smaller than ours world, though it has many kingdoms, which is to, again, us, much a fascination that such a small world should have so many nations and kingdoms. And he comes from a kingdom, from what I understand, that is not, though that is confusing to us, and maybe one day he'll explain it to us, or have it entered into our histories, but telling us more about his world. However, because he had made, upon approval by Daenerys, something that represents the emblem of his world, being a little less than that, a duke, which barely qualified him to be a suitor, but qualified nevertheless he is. It is now the practice, because he is no longer able to get back to his world, that the crown he bears shall be removed by Daenerys, so that he may bear a crown of our world to adapt and accept our customs and traditions. Daenerys, are you prepared to remove his crown at this time and to crown him with the crown that you had designed of the House of Targaryen? I am, my lord. You may proceed then. And so with that, it goes into a special chant intermission. kneels before her on a special like bench type stool and humbly bows his head. She looks down upon him with a very big smile. William, I accept you, though you be human, low in stature, and of all your frailties, though you have proven that you do not wish to be looked upon in this way, but yet accept your place, that you are, compared to the men of our world, more frail. But you have proven yourself worthy to defend and champion me in any given time that is necessary. Your crown shall be added to my treasures, because it was of your design, which I did approve up till this point of this very day, that represents your world. But now it is time for me to remove this, because you are not of your world. You are now, as by my permission, and through the sworn allegiance you have given me, in my world. And he takes the crown and gently places it on an empty pillow on an altar to the side. Then picks up one that she had designed. William, at this time, as you have proven yourself to be honest, truthful, without lies and trickery, or any deceptions, and though you do not have many senses as us in our world, because you only have 6 of yours world, I do not sense you to be a sorcerer, or a wizard, or of anything like that, which is actually very pleasing, because this means you are true to your heart. Therefore I place this crown upon your head, and with this crown means you will accept and obey any command I give. Our customs and practices, our traditions, and make your pledge to learn of all these things, so that you shall deliver that which the visionary has said you are destined by prophecy to give me and the House of Targaryen. Do you accept this crown and all the responsibilities that come with it? And to champion me if and when it is necessary, knowing that I cannot show favoritism because I will be one day a supreme queen, and the fact that I have adopted and accepted your heraldry, because your heraldry, as you has been truthful, does not allow you to have a throne, where you shall sit at my right hand and follow my stead as much as a queen would, under normal circumstances, when a king takes the throne. I do, Queen Deanerys, Mother of Dragons, the great Khaleesi, and my Misha of your kingdom of Marine. Well said, William. And with much delight, she gently places it on his head, and using in a dignified, distinct way, her pointing finger of her right hand, she took his hair up under the crown to make sure it stays in place. Then, once it is in place, she then tells William, "You may now stand, my husband, my king, William. And as the priest lord has already addressed you by my last name, that's William Bruce Targaryen, because your heraldry also said you are to take my last name, I only ask that you never disgrace me, not intentionally anyway. I know you'll have much to adapt to in our world and customs. Do you accept my last name as yours?" "I do, my queen." "Very well then. From this day forward, William, you are no longer William Bruce McEachran. You shall be known as William Bruce Targaryen, of the House of Targaryen, my mate, my lover, my pet, my husband and my king, who sits at the right hand, following in my stead. Then William takes both her hands. My queen, may I have permission to put upon your head the crown for which I have designed for you, so that all may see your glory as being the queen, mother of dragons, of the House of Targaryen, the great Khaleesi, and their Misa, since the time before I came into your world, of your kingdom of Marine. Yes, William, you may. And so with that, then she carefully kneels on the same bench-type stool and prepares for him to do the same.